Hello, welcome back to Sweet Bee Creative Studios. This is Anne. We're back with day 4 of the Advent calendar, and I have it right under my hand. I'm just giving a second for those who don't want to see to get out of the video before I show it. But now I'm going to show it. So today we have some dies. And it's just foliage. So let's open this guy up and see how many we have. Sometimes there's some on the inside, which I don't think so in this case. Nope. So we have 3 different types of foliage. Okay, we can work with this. I'm gonna find some different cardstocks. Now I'm thinking maybe we can do a sentiment in the center and then just stick all kinds of foliage in the back of it, right? I mean, that's going to be simple, and we can use a couple of these and it'll look great. Okay, at least I hope it will. All right, so I'm going to get some papers and find a sentiment, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I figured that we can, I'm thinking like white, just tone on tone, right? And then we can have a sentiment, pop that up a little bit, and maybe put some of the foliage and green behind it. Or we can make them out of gold, right? That's an option as well. Or we can do it all white. It all depends on your vision for it. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go ahead and emboss, and I wish I would have bought the 3D embossing folders that they made for the marquise, the Grand Marquise, but I didn't. So I'm going to have to use one of my other folders, and this one is from Darice. And I'm going to cut a 5x7 panel, and we're going to make that out of here. And then I'll come back and we could cut some of these in white and some of these in gold, stamp out our sentiment, and see what looks better. Okay, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I ended up using another embossing folder, and that's because the embossing folder that I had chosen, I guess it was damaged because it came out with some weird lines. So I found this one from Crafter's Companion, and it's a really old 3D embossing folder. But it's very pretty. So we're going to use that one. And I cut out the foliage in both yellow and white. And maybe I should have done it in gold as well, because I don't know what we're going to use yet. I brought out these dies because I figured we can do some kind of pattern with them. Well, not pattern. We're just going to put them that way. And we can do it in different colors, maybe gold, green, and then the white. So maybe we'll do like the white, a green, another white, and then the gold, right, to tie everything in. And then we could pop them up on foam tape and kind of add the foliage around somehow. That's what I have. Okay. But the only thing I'm seeing is which sentiment we're going to use. I was originally thinking of you, but then it's going to throw this off, and that's going to bother me. So maybe, how about hello, miss you? So it would look something like that. Yeah, I think that's kind of cute. All right. But we'll do it with the hello instead. Give me 1 second and I'll be right back. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and stamp. And we're gonna use the hello. And we're going to just put it at a little bit of an angle. And then we're going to use the miss you. And hopefully we can get everything to fit. So I figured we could do something like that. And I'm gonna have to double check to see if I got it straight. Give me 1 second. Doesn't matter if the hello is straight. The miss you needs to be straight. I think that's pretty good. And I'm gonna stamp it in black. I was gonna emboss it, but I'm afraid that the miss you is gonna get a little bit lost there. So, besides, it'll really pop. One more time on the hello. Make sure that it's really dark. Hold it for a second, and we are good to go. Okay, so I did cut another panel in green to go on top of the gold, and that's just to tie in some of the green here. Now I cut 2 squares in gold and 2 in green, as well as the white panels, just to see what mixture I prefer. And I'm gonna start off just by popping this up on foam tape, because that I do know I want this to be a little lifted, and then we can see what color combination feels the best. So, I mean, let's see if we do the gold and follow kind of the pattern there. It will be the gold, the white, the green. And then we could put the foliage all around, or we could scrap the green altogether and do the gold here, and then just use the green to tie in this green. Let's see, that light is a little bright, so we can get a more or less idea of what things are going to look like. Let's see that green one again. And if we tuck these in here and there, maybe that green is going to get washed away with that. So maybe we will go with the gold. I'm surprised. I thought I was going to go with the green. Okay, so we're going to pop this up on foam tape. I'm going to stop over analyzing things. I'm going to get my foam tape. Okay. And then we could start gluing the other panels together. Okay. Now I have been a little off because I've been trying to fix a situation with my microphone. I know several folks have told me that my videos sound really low, and I've been really trying to see why. Because I got a pretty good microphone. It should be very clear. But I think it has to do with the software I'm using. So I adjusted some things to see if that works. I just also don't want it to pick up every other noise in the house, because I live with my husband and my child. And, you know, life happens. Okay, so I figured we could pop this one up. I don't want to put the foliage in here, so I'm okay with just, you know, gluing that down. I am going to add some wet adhesive to this, and that's just so I can move it around a little bit, because I said this a million times. I am notorious for getting these things really crooked. Me and foam tape. Okay, let me get some glue. All right. Let's add some there. Okay. And I should be able to move that around just a little bit. Okay. Right there. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. So we have that. And then we could elevate this here. I mean, I wish there was a way to kind of use some of the green, but I don't see that happening unless I cut this in half. And then I could just like glue them a little bit off center, so we get a little bit of a gold trim. Yeah, let's do that. I think that's pretty good. I don't think that's too bad. And it kind of breaks up the gold too. All right, let's get this super close to here. So it's just going to be a teeny bit of a little green. Not much at all. Like you might need a microscope to see it. Okay, let's put some glue. And then we can maneuver this one into place. So it's going to be the tiniest little layer. Okay. And now we'll let that dry and I'll be back. Okay. So, where did I put my glasses? All right. I cut out some little flowers just in case we use them, in case we need them. And we're just going to start first layering all these together. So let's start with the white panel. Oops. Even the deep boss part of this is really pretty. And this is like the first time I use this embossing folder. That's crazy. That's why you always need to go into your stash. Okay. And let's do this panel. And let's just even that up. And I'm going to give that a second to dry because since it is on that foil paper, it's going to take a second more than the others. And then we'll come back with an adhesive remover and take away the excess glue. I'll be right back. Okay, so I glued everything onto our white. Alright, let's put a little bit of glue here. Okay, alright, so it's on my white card and we are pretty much good to go to start layering everything up. Now I was debating on where to put this. I think I'm going to put it on the side instead, and then we could just put the foliage all on this side. And maybe going under all of it. So maybe we'll glue these together and then we'll glue everything under the gold. Okay, so let's do that now. Do you need all these layers? No, I personally like it, so I always tend to go a little extra. Which every time I try to save on postage, I end up spending more. Okay. Let's put this one here. And we're gonna give this a second to set, and then we'll start, we can even like tack it on a corner and then see where we want our foliage. Okay, so I'll be right back. Okay, so we're gonna tack this corner and then we could go ahead and start putting all of our foliage. So I gotta hold it for a second there while it sets. And I figure we could just put the foliage all around and maybe just put a couple of little flowers, or even these that are smaller. And we're gonna even put like gold centers. I think that'll look cute. All right, I'm gonna hold this for a second. I'll be back. Okay, so now that it's tacked on, we can start putting some of these guys here and there. I just need to see where I want things. I think that's the most complicated part, right? I think we could put this one in deeper, and then like then we can glue everything in. So we put this one here, and then maybe one more, because I think everything looks better in odd numbers. So maybe we could just do something like that. That looks pretty good. Okay, maybe bring this one out a little bit more. We'll start gluing this one first, and then we'll go ahead and adjust everything as needed. And I'm gonna want some of these on top of it. So kind of like that. Now we could put this one maybe here. So kind of framing everything, right? And this one will go somewhere here. You can even trim this off. You don't need all that bulk under it. Okay, so maybe something like that. I mean, if we needed to, we could just add another piece here. So let's put this one in place first. So let's put that under. And then we can add this one. And we might add this one just to make sure we get enough of the different types of foliage. Okay. So now we have everything going every which way, right? So we're gonna carefully pick this up and add glue. And then we could just press all this down. Okay. So we have that. It's looking pretty. Okay, now we could just decide which flowers we're gonna use. We can go ahead and curl these a little bit. I mean, you could go as elaborate as you want or as simple as you want, but I've learned that sometimes just something pretty and simple is the best choice. All right. And we'll put one here. And then you could even add a little one. So we could probably just do something like this. Or just scrap that all together and just put one down here. We'll get our little gold centers. You know, I didn't even know I was going to use gold until I said it. Right. So I'll bring in some centers and we'll see which color we use. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, so if we use our gold, I only have the shiny gold, but I do have these pearls that are like, I don't know, I don't think they'll go as well, even though we could probably use yellow. Let's try the gold first. And let's see what size we want to use. Okay, let me get my gem tool here. Okay, we have that. Oh, we have the bigger one. That's interesting. I'm kind of liking the bigger one. Or we could use yellow. Let me try this tone too. It might go well. Let's take you out. Okay. All right, which one do we like better? Kind of liking the gold. Normally I go for like more muted things, right? But yeah, gold looks pretty good. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and glue this down first. And we're just gonna hold that in place for a second. I need more glue. Okay. Let's do the same thing with this one. And we could just go a little bit higher or just go right on the point It all depends on what looks better to you. We could even move this one closer. Yeah, I think we'll do that. Because you don't want it to look like perfect spacing, like, you know. You want it to look a little off. Okay. Let's start off with this guy. We could even put this one more on here and maybe turn it slightly. I'll wait until it dries and then I can clean off the excess glue. Alright, and now you maybe could go here a little bit off. Okay. And that's our card. And it's just with the foliage that you received in your advent calendar. You can do this actually with any foliage you have and any nesting dies that you prefer. But I mean, it's a pretty effective card. It's very pretty. I mean, how much would you pay for a card that looks like this in one of the stores? Right? Looks good. All right, I'm happy with it. Normally you guys know this is not my style, right? Because I normally do all the coloring and the cutesy characters, but sometimes it's good to go outside the box. And again, that's the good part of the advent calendar, that it does make you, if you take out one at a time, it really does make you think. And I'm having fun with it. So we'll get back to our schedule and our next day, which is going to be day 5. And we'll see what we make with that one. But so far, so good. I'm having fun. All right, guys. I'll talk to you really, really soon. Bye-bye.